Hello and welcome to days 7 and 8 of a Terry Mary Vlogmas. As you may already have noticed from the thumbnail or the title or what I just said, I didn't get any filming done on day 7, Saturday, so we are combining the whole weekend into days 7 and 8 into one video. We had 2 parties on Friday, and yesterday we made it to the gym, and then the rest of the day was just lazy, hanging out, because we had another party in the evening. So I didn't get to sit down and film. I didn't even open my Advent. I did get a little bit of knitting done, and I played a lot of Pokemon Scarlet on the Switch. But diving right in, I hope you're well. What I'm wearing is not a hand knit, it is a store-bought sweater, but it is like an inspiration to me for like a future scrappy sweater I want to make. Okay, first things first, projects. So I didn't even roll the dice yesterday, but I thought I would show off my project that I worked on a bit, which is my Straya cardigan. So the Straya is a super popular pattern by Andrea Mowry. If you're not familiar with it, let me show you it. Here it is. So I am two rows away from sleeve separation. So I'm very excited because the rows are getting really long, but it is this really, really beautiful raglan striped cardigan that is in half fisherman's rib. So if you can see that, which is a really squishy, cozy fabric. But this is a fingering weight pattern in half fisherman's rib, so it takes a long time to knit. I am knitting this in Cascade. The neutral is Cascade Heritage 6. Budget-friendly superwash yarn. And then the rainbow is Baby Cat Yarns Earthy Pellet, which unfortunately she just retired, but she has a number of beautiful rainbow patterns on her site. I love her color sensibility. Look at these, just cute little 2-ply superwash base. So yeah, I've gotten like 10 rows done in the last day or so. So I'm just really hoping to get to that sleeve separation because it'll make the rows so much shorter, and I'd love to try this on. So that's my Straya, which hasn't come up in the dice yet, so I wanted to talk about it. And then next, if you saw this morning, so the other thing I did is the other thing is my mitts are on hold because I finished the cuffs of both, and I'm waiting on some new DPNs for the hand portion. I finished one of the projects on my list, which is a small scarf, kind of inspired in that Sophie scarf shape, but I added some texture that I just made up, and I finished that, so that's off the needles, and then my campus vest is off the needles. So a number of my projects on my dice rolling list are off the needles, so I need to reconsider the order and change things up, but I hadn't done that this morning. But I did want to roll, I don't know why, I really wanted to roll the D20. So I just went with it, and luckily it rolled a 7. And so that was an option that was already in my list. So I'm going to kind of reorder my list of projects now that I finished a couple, and I'm going to do it so that I can use the D20 because I was feeling like rolling this dice. But as I said, it rolled the 7, which is my field cardigan, and I have a couple things to talk about with that. My field cardigan will be a new cast on, and what I was looking for is I have the Straya, I have the Autumn Alpine. My sweater projects are currently slow projects and quite focus intensive, so I wanted a simple stockinette project, A. B, I really need some basic cardigans, but I could really use some more neutrals in my wardrobe, and one of those neutrals I need is gray. A nice, pretty gray cardigan. So this is my swatch, and the yarn is Drops Merino Extra Fine in the colorway 5, which is commonly listed as light gray. And this is my first time using Drops Merino because here's a cleaner skein a bit. Because I had been unemployed, I was really looking to try out some like truly budget-friendly yarns. And you can get a sweater quantity of this for, depending on your size, at least under $75, if not under $50. So it's like sometimes a time and a place for that. And a lot of the yarn that we love to use is not super accessible. So I wanted to try it because it was not a good time for me to be buying a sweater quantity of beautiful hand-dyed yarn. So a couple months ago, I bought this, and I haven't started it yet, but I swatched for a field cardigan. But I had a couple of options. I wanted a basic V-neck cardigan that could be a wardrobe staple, simple stockinette. I was open on construction, and I had a couple of options, including the Field Day by Ozetta, a hugely popular cardigan pattern. Also, the Calm Down cardigan by Lily Kate France, and then the Paul cardigan by a designer whose name I will put on the screen, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So those are my top options. And I went with the field cardigan because it's the pattern I already owned. And also for this cardigan, I have a store-bought cardigan I really love. I just love the ease of it. It's a drop shoulder, and I wanted to emulate that fit as best I could. So that cardigan has a 45-inch bust circumference. So I was looking for a pattern that had a 45-inch bust circumference. And the Field Day cardigan, 45 inches is one of the options. And so I thought, perfect. Then I swatched, and my swatch is off gauge. I'm 1 stitch off on stitch gauge because I was really looking for this specific fit. Being 1 stitch off puts me about 4% off, which means I'm 1 stitch bigger. So I have 21 instead of 22 stitches on my gauge. And that will make my cardigan about 4% bigger, which on a 45-inch bust will give me, I think it's like 46.8. And that's a little bigger than I wanted it to be. So then I went back this morning as I was looking to cast on, I went back this morning to the other options I had, including the Calm Down cardigan, which I just bought as part of Lily Kate Make's Advent pattern sale. That pattern has a size with a 43.5-inch bust finished circumference, and it has the same gauge as the Field Day cardigan. So my gauge is the same amount off. And if I knit the 43.5 size, I will get a 45.25-inch bust. So I've decided to switch before I cast on from the Field Day cardigan to the Calm Down cardigan, because I actually do like it has a beautiful, I'll show a picture. She has a gray version, which like helps my vision of what I want this cardigan to be. And it has a beautiful double knit button band, a kind of fun saddle shoulder detail, and this really interesting detail in the front, triangle detail in the front. So I think it's gonna be really cute. I almost would have picked that one, I think, except I was looking at the measurements and I really wanted to hit that like 45, and that wasn't available in this pattern size. Oh, and I didn't really say this about my gauge, but I really love the fabric that it made, the drape of it. This yarn has a serious plumpness. It has so many, let me see if I can get that. It's not really focusing. It has a lot of plies and it's very plump. So the reason I didn't just re-swatch on a smaller needle is because I think the tighter gauge might make it a stiffer fabric that I don't want. Definitely I was into the fabric and I didn't really want to change. I don't really want to change this to get down a whole stitch. Would make a very different fabric. So that's where I'm at with that. But I'm excited. But yeah, that's my Field Day that is now the Calm Down cardigan. Okay, and then we have, so now we have 2 days of the Beehive Yarns Bookish Advent to open. Let's go. Day 7, which is another Sherlock Holmes book. Yes, this very beautiful goldenrod color. I love that. This is the Hound of the Baskervilles, which it definitely for me evokes a little bit of that spooky mystery vibe. So that's day 7. And day 8, we have another Jane Austen. This is Persuasion. If you're not a Jane Austen file like me, Persuasion is her final novel, and it's definitely a bit darker and sassier than her earlier romances that are now kind of what she's more known for. There's a distinct darkness to Persuasion, but Persuasion is definitely, yeah, that's a little bit better. Persuasion is clearly a less saturated color, but cute. We are just making our way through the warm colors. All right, let's add these latest beautiful colors. Ooh, there's Hound of the Baskervilles. So cool to see it next to the rest of the fade and see how it's all shaping up. Then Persuasion. Look how beautiful. Okay, and as far as the rest of the day, I have some blocking to do. I'm in the middle of a big blocking party, so I might throw in some footage there. I'm blocking a Halloween-y shawl that I made that I didn't finish in time for Halloween, but it's the Good Vibes shawl. I've had it done for a few weeks and I keep forgetting to block it. So I'm blocking that. I'm blocking my campus vest, and I'm blocking my little scarflet that I improvised the pattern for. Gonna get those finally blocked. I have some tidying around the house that I have been putting off for days and days. And it's a beautiful day outside. It's like 50 degrees and sunny, so we are taking the dog for a long walk, and I can't wait. I'll try to throw in some B-roll, but otherwise, that's most of what I have for today. Thanks so much for being here. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.